If you have a pension plan, you've likely seen reports of the funded status. The funded status measures the plan's ability to meet the future benefit payments. Did you know that you also have a retirement funded status? You can be overfunded, constrained, or underfunded. So how do you know how to tell the difference between these and which category that you fall into? Well, let me give you a simple example. Let's talk about Tom and Ann. Tom and Ann have Social Security income and pension income that's going to cover most of their retirement lifestyle needs, but they're going to take $20,000 a year from their retirement portfolio to cover the gap. Now, if Tom and Ann have a $1 million portfolio, and we're not going to talk about how that's invested or the tax implications of the different tax buckets that they could have, the different types of accounts that it might be invested in, just talking about the $1 million portfolio. Their $20,000 distribution would be 2% of that portfolio, and they are overfunded. At that rate of distribution, they can expect that their portfolio is going to last more than 30 years. However, what if they have a $500,000 portfolio? At a $500,000, then their distribution is going to be 4% of their retirement portfolio, and they are constrained. They can expect that their retirement portfolio would last between 15 and 30 years. What if they have $250,000? At $250,000, that distribution is 8% of their retirement portfolio, and they are underfunded. They can expect that that retirement portfolio will last less than 15 years. So the status, overfunded, constrained, or underfunded, is a measure of the percentage of the distribution as compared to the retirement portfolio. If your retirement distribution is going to be 3.5% or less of your retirement portfolio, then you are overfunded. If your distribution is going to be between 3.5% and 7%, then you're considered constrained. And if your distribution is going to be 7% or greater, then you're considered underfunded. Now, those ranges were created due to a lot of research looking at 30-year rolling retirements and based on stocks and bonds and inflation from 1926 going forward. And so with our current situation, the amount of government debt that we have, the interest rates that we're in, all of the things that we're looking at, it's possible those ranges need to be adjusted a little bit. And that's something to monitor going forward. The other thing to know is that it was assumed that the portfolio, the retirement portfolio, was invested 60% in equities and 40% in bonds. Now, your portfolio might be more conservative or less conservative than that. And if so, then your ranges would need to be adjusted accordingly, especially if you're more conservative. But the first question that you should ask yourself is, where do you fall? Are you, just looking at the distribution versus your retirement portfolio, are you overfunded, constrained, or underfunded? If you're like most retirees that I talk to, you're going to fall into the constrained category. Most people are going to take between 3.5% and 7% of their retirement portfolio as a distribution over their lifetime. So if you would like some input on how you can improve your funded status, I'd be happy to have a conversation and help you be on your best path for retirement.